the historic event. So today is a development of the Buddhist concept lah. Okay, Buddhology. The changes regarding the concept of Buddha, the nature, the attribute of Buddha, you see. So Buddhology, you know the meaning of Buddhology, everything about Buddha, the nature of Buddha, who is Buddha, what is Buddha, significant Buddha. So we call Buddhology. So everybody knows, oh, Buddha, Gautama Buddha was a human being, a teacher, right or not? But then, on the other hand, the Mahayanists, if you talk to them, oh, Amitabha Buddha, not human being. So people wonder who is correct, why there was a change or something like that. So today our topic is to introduce to you the changes of the concept of Buddha from human teacher until later period, people deify them and treated him as a god. So even after he passed away, Parinibbana, oh, he's still around in the heaven, unseen. So the whole process, we're going to discuss the changes, you see. So, earliest sutta, whether it's Theravada or early Buddhism, we always say Gautama Buddha was a teacher, human teacher, that shows the way people learn from him and practice. That's a basic concept. So the earliest teaching, Buddhist teaching, always treat Buddha, Gautama Buddha, as a human being. That time we never talk about heavenly Buddha, this and that. We only, in the Pali Sutta, they only talk about past Buddha. Past Buddha doesn't mean it's celestial or heavenly Buddha. There's a difference, you know. Past, like Gautama Buddha, passed away 2,500 years ago. He was a human being, past Buddha. But he is not a heavenly or celestial Buddha. Then never appear as a human being before. That's a different concept, you see. So early Sutta, Mahapadana Sutta, Pali Canon, mention all together 7 Buddha. One historical that we know, Gautama Buddha, plus the 7 that we never have a historical record before, the 6 more, 6 others. So altogether 7 Buddha. 6 past Buddha plus 1 existed 2,500 years ago. That's all. That's the earliest concept, you see. Then the second feature, the number. So the Buddha changes the Buddha's concept, Buddhology. We talk about human being to God, human teacher to transcendental beings or celestial being. Number 2, we talk about the number and the heavenly. Basically, we talk about these 2 things. First thing, human being Buddha and deified Buddha. Second, that means something to do with the transcendental quality, a human being and a heavenly being with superpower. Second thing, we talk about the number from 1 human teacher plus 6 other past Buddha, then slowly develop until you have countless number of Buddha, like the number of sands, like Chinese say, 恒河沙数, cannot be counted, uncountable. This type of concept appear in late Mahayana and Vajrayana.
Sorry, Brother Yap, those are bodhisattvas, isn't it?
Bodhisattva as well as Buddha.
So the bodhisattva is considered past Buddhas as well?
No.
Mahayana?
Mahayana, past Buddha only Theravada's concept, Mahapadana
Mm.
Sutta, the past, you know, it
Mm.
could be a human being, but passed away long billion years ago, called Buddha.
Yeah.
But then Mahayana say they are human being, they passed away long ago. They say all these are the heavenly beings, you see. How they develop, we don't know. You see, maybe it's another what we call Sambhoga Kaya. Sambhoga Kaya sent by the, as I told you, the concept of Sambhoga Kaya sent by the Dharma Kaya, the ultimate Buddha, to the heaven.
Oh, so that means the heavenly Buddhas here it
Heaven
is
Buddha.
Mahayana.
Yes, not from a
Mahayana one.
human being, except Gautama Buddha lah, because they also recognize the Gautama Buddha. Okay, so besides, apart from Gautama Buddha, they believe Abhidhamma Buddha or Asobya Buddha, Vairochana Buddha, Brahma Sambhana, all these are the non-human being, and they never call them past Buddha. They don't say past, they say heavenly Buddha.
Oh, okay.
Making bed, this Karunaka. never mind, distraction. So Buddhology, basically we discuss two things. How human being Buddha transform into transcendental Buddha. That means it changes, deify, how would human Buddha deify as a supernatural Buddha. One thing. Second thing, we talk about the changes in number. That's all for this lesson. Okay. So if you talk about the period of changes, basically it involves three different periods. So early Buddhism, the concept of Buddha, for during the sectarian period. For example, what we know is Theravada's period, and then later we talk about early Mahayana period, Proto-Mahayana, or transitional period, you see. So basically we talk about these three periods, the changes of
Sister Visakha has joined already.
yes,
Hi,
good.
sisters Visakha. Welcome.
Yes, hello. Hello. So you make your bed already,
Hello.
So 搞掂咗 your bed.
Chief Jana ready lah.
So number two. So first one, introduction, basic introduction. Roughly you know what we are going to talk about. Number and the powers, the changes from early Buddhism to later Buddhism. That's all. So it involves a lot of new concept, one after another. And the concept are very long, we cannot explain one by one. And leave it to the doctrine teacher to explain to you in details. I just mentioned what sort of concept appear. Then after that, what new concept appear. That's all. What power, this and that. Development. Detail is different lecture. It will take how many hours. So early Buddhism, we always know Buddha was a human being. His role is to teach Dharma, to solve your problem in life, suffering in life, and not life is suffering. These two are different. People always mix up, in the past. We always say what? Karunika, life is suffering. This concept is not applicable to human being. And scholar, I have to explain more detail, even though it's not part of this talk, because otherwise I forget later. It's very important. Bhikkhu Bodhi Annalayo already clarified. In the past, there was a translation mistake. We don't call it life is suffering. That's wrong. We say suffering in life. That's correct. Understand? or life is marked with suffering. Life is marked with suffering, or there are sufferings, moments of suffering in life, and not life is suffering. Human being is a mixture of happiness and suffering, but human life is not full of suffering, full day to day. Like this statement only applicable to health realm.
Hell, yeah, hell
Yes.
and ghost realm
beta
also.
realm, yes, it's
Ghost
true.
realm.
Then you can say their life full of suffering. Hell, because hell being, as you know, from the Devadatta Sutta, they suffer all the time, then die, and then the bird die, immediately suffer. Morning until night, 24 hour times, how many billion years, life full of suffering. Ours is different, ours marked with suffering, or sometimes, oh, you lost your relative friend, all this, that moment also suffering. After that, you happy already. You know, it's a mixture. So you cannot say, our happy already. Go and jump sing already.
Yes, I go holiday.
So human being, you cannot say it's full like our life full of suffering. Our life is suffering. For health only, you can say that. Ours is a mixture. It's already mentioned by Buddha in the Sutta. It's a human being is a mixture. That's why in the human realm, a being can be enlightened as a Buddha, because happiness, a mixture of happiness of both. You see, I know. Okay, this one have to clarify. It's not life for suffering. This one apply to the realm, the beta and the health realm. Okay, now we come back to the Gautama Buddha as a human being, as depicted, as described in the early sutta. His role to teach Dharma, to enlighten us. He was a teacher. He showed the path, can teach you. You listen, you practice, you. One is up to you. You know, he cannot sit go to exam hall, sit on your behalf. He only in the classroom teach you this and that. You listen, he go and sit for exam. He shows the way. You do your own part, walk your part. That's all. That's the role of Buddha as a human teacher in the early, as described in the early sutta, basically. Dhammapada 276 mentioned. So after enlightenment, he still as a human being, for as evident from the Mahaparinibbana Sutta DN 16. You know, he fell sick. He got pain during the Vasa in Vaisali, right? Not back pain,
Headache, isn't it? A very
also,
massive headache.
except no Panadol the time. Back pain in Pawa after the last meal.
You also got stomach ache.
Stomach ache, purging, this and that, and then he died. This is a human characteristic, you see. Of course, if you listen to the Mahayana, they explain it this way. Oh, he was sent by the Dhammakaya to come to human being. That's why he had to behave like human being. That's the Mahayana's explanation, and Dhammakaya. You see, but Theravada strictly follow our biological evidences as a human. Naturally, you will have all this, naturally. You see, not because you have to behave like this, like Mahayanis who say this, slightly different, different explanation. As a result. Even the 32 bhag described in the suttas, according to the explanation, the commentaries, is a result of the past karma, good deeds. That's why he has 32 major body mark. Like this one we call Anusa or something like that, I forgot. And then the
Where is that stated, Brother Yap?
Huh?
Where is that stated? That is the result of his past karma.
Stated, I don't know, I forgot.
I don't think it's in the suttas, right?
Not in the Sutta, in the late even
Oh,
the
commentary lah.
this commentary, even this the symbolic of a great man
Mm.
is a symbolic only of a great man, you know. This statement also in the later some whose comment I forgot lah. It's a symbolic only of a great man. Actually, whether biologically he got all the 32 marks or not, I don't know. Except long year lah. That one is true lah. Because as an Indian prince, those say they wear heavy jewelry, you know. There was one saying lah, why Buddha got a long ear? But people always say, Mr. Yap, you got long ear, you're Buddha. I say, no, I'm not Buddha. That's different, you know. That's the difference. You see. There's not a 32 mark, one or 32 mark, no. This one, maybe the wife pull you too much, also can be lah. Indian, because they, you know, they used to wear heavy
Yeah.
gems, this and that.
Mm.
So it's one saying, true or not, I don't know. You see, but symbolic lah. Scholars say this is a symbolic of a great man. That's all. You see, but 32 mark appear in the sutta, you know. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that appeared in the
Yes,
sutta.
sutta,
There's a
yes.
sutta on that.
But symbolic this and that, you know, is a commentary later. People say one. The final goal of early Buddhism, you know, after practicing normal Eightfold Path for a long time, and you perfected all these factors, you attain as arahants, not Buddha. Only later Theravada teaching in Buddha Wangsa, Charipitaka, then you say they practice 10 parami, they walk, practice according to Bodhisattva path, then they enlighten as Sammasambuddha. There's a later teaching. But so you say Theravada's teaching, yes, also Theravada. It's only a question of late teaching and early teaching. Early teaching, Arahant, normal Eightfold Path. Okay, that's the early teaching. Buddha as a teacher, he has a human characteristic, can fall sick, can die, can marry, can have kids. He only his role to teach, you know, Dharma, enlighten, to release, to eradicate, to solve our life problem in life. Our goal is, you know, people enlightened as Arahant. That's all. That's the earliest concept of Buddha, the purpose, Buddha's teaching, and the final goal. Then the human characteristic. This one everyone knows, early teaching. Then after that, then all the sutta you read, they always praise Buddha, this attribute, you know, with a 9 attribute, you know, Arahant, Samma Sambuddho, Vichachara, Sambandho, praising with a 9 attribute. This one, this 9 individual one, you learn it from your teachers. So I just tell you that the 9 virtues or characteristics, people always praise Gautama Buddha with these 9 characteristics. Self-enlightened, he's a teacher, he's a God and man. He has completed the path, Sugato, you know, Lokavidu, teacher, the God and man, and so on and so forth. Basic 9 characteristics you can always find in the early sutta. So people praise him with all these characteristics, besides being a human being, human teachers. How people praise him, all these 9. How to explain this 9, I leave it to your other teacher, otherwise too much time. This one you're all familiar, this 9.
Yeah, this one we covered in the other classes,
Yes.
with the AMLTP.
Doctrine teacher will do it. Don't overlap. So early Buddhism, this 9 attribute people used to praise, describe about Buddha. Then, besides that, early sutta mentioned, as I say, oh, he was a great man with 32 marks. As a result of meritorious deed, here I got the Brahma Yu Sutta, Chakravati. You check these 2 sutta. As a result of meritorious deeds acquired in his previous life. You check these 2, read the detail, Brahmayu Sutta and Chakravati. Even Chakravati also possess this 32 mark. So when all the Brahmin went to see the baby, they notice the mark, they say either Buddha or Chakravati, either way. So it says that not only Buddha will possess 32, Chakravati also, the universal monarch. See, either way. For detail, you refer to Brahmayu Sutta. So regarding 32 marks, also a special characteristic of Buddha, as you can find in the early sutta, but how true is not, how historical, we don't know this one. Since the sutta say that, just take it, you see. But somebody may say this is symbolic, that's another story. Past Buddha, then just now I discussed with you, in early Buddhism, besides a human Buddha, Gautama Buddha, you have 6 others past Buddha. Past means they could be human Buddha, but never say that all these 6 were celestial Buddha, say past Buddha, or passed away, or attained the Pari-Nibbana long million years ago. That's why we say past Buddha. We never call him, in the early sutta, never say he's a celestial Buddha or heavenly Buddha or sent by the Dhamma Kaya or decide in the heaven, in the Buddha field, Sukawati or Eastern world, or never say that, you see. So only a past, historical past or something like that. You see. So Mahapadana, I mentioned to you, 6 Buddha existed before Gautama, correct or not? Then Buddha Wangsa expanded the number or increased the number of Buddha from early 7 to 28, including Gautama Buddha. That's why nowadays they have a ceremony, rituals, worshipping 28 Buddha. Becoming very popular, because this one is popular in Sri Lanka, especially Sri Lanka. Burma also, some temple they practice, but now it's spread to Malaysia, you see.
Very popular, the 28 Buddha Parita.
28 Buddha, like KCBA every year, because somebody introduced from Sentu, you see. They introduced KCBA. Now Subang Jaya also have that. So 28 Buddha, the concept, you don't find it in the early sutta, you find it in the Buddha Wangsa, Charya Pitaka, you see, 28 Buddha, 27 past Buddha, including, if you include Gautama Buddha, then become 28. The one in the late Theravada teaching. Early teaching, according to Mahapadana, we have a total of 7 Buddha. 1 historical plus 6 past Buddha. So number keep increasing. So early Theravada and late Theravada, after some time, few hundred years, number of Buddha start increasing already from 7 to 28. At one point, it become 40 something, you check the Buddha Wangsa. but popular, the most popular one is 28 lah, the theory. You see, the name also given. You see, the same.
Problem job.
Huh? Early Buddhism talk about one future Buddha, Maitreya. Other than that, very brief also, not in detail, only in late text commentary. Then you have a lot of information about future Buddha. Mahayana, yes, mentioned a lot about future Buddha. A lot of this statue of Maitreya statue with the jewelry, the germs, all these statues you can find in Northwest India, Gandhara, Mahayana's concept. Okay? But Theravada, very brief regarding the future Buddha. Then in the early sutta, when we talk about the quality of Buddha, beside, hold 1 minute. Apa? Okay. Nanti saya akan review.
Ini. Dua. Dia mau saya, nggak mungkin angkat dulu. Nah, sini ya. Satu lagi. Ya. Mana ini? Ya itu, samping. Ya. Oke, itu Pak.
Yes, sorry. Somebody interrupted, came in. We talk about the quality of Buddha in the early sutta. Just now we talk about the 9 attributes. How people praise him, the attribute. Oh, he's good, he has done this, he was that. So now we talk about his power, his knowledge, super knowledge. The 9 of enlightenment. You read the sutta, this is what we call Mahasacaka Sutta. 3 9, early, middle, and third watch. First watch, he developed power. Power of what? He could see his past life, 1 life, 2 life, 3 life, all this, all million lives. So first, power or super knowledge developed. Then second watch, people pass away, then rebirth, another realm according to their karma. So his ability to know, to see this with his divine eye. Then the third watch, the power to eradicate defilement, to realize what? Four Noble Truths. Okay. So during the night of gaining enlightenment, he developed the 3, what we call knowledges, threefold Tevijja, threefold knowledge. These details of this, you can find Mahasacaka, you can find in Samannaphala Sutta, DN2. See? So, early sutta mention Tevijja, 3 knowledges. Very common one. For all the serious meditators should be able to develop this. This one, even I never read the sutta before. People also told me this. Even non-Buddhists who never read sutta also told me this. Right? He could see the unseen being. You see this and that, see so far away, Non-Buddhists also. So this, when you read the sutta, the Buddha got this type of power. That I believe true, because so many people confirm to me and say this and that. I got a few friends who got developed divine eye. Also see beings here and there. So this early sutta, they talk about the Tevijjas. You should have no doubt about it I can say because so many evidences you see, divine eye. It's something like divine eye. You can see this your past life. You can see people pass away, rebirth there. You can realize the fourfold, you can eradicate the defilement of Four Noble Truth, this and that. So early sutta talk about this Devija, apart from the 9 attributes. Then after that, early sutta, Samannapala Sutta, the end 2, also talk about instead of 6, expand to, instead of 3, now become 6. Earlier 3 plus 3 more. Divine ear, mind reading, then psychic power, 3 more. Add in addition to the early Devija 3, so become 6. Cha Abinya, Cha, how to pronounce Cha Abinya? So 6-fold super knowledge. Besides the Devija 3, you have 3 more. Psychic power. Then you have divine ear. Then you have number 3, divine mind reading. So to quote these examples in the early sutta, for example, so the first 3 I already told you, you can find from Mahasacaka Sutta in it, how Buddha developed these 3, the earliest 3 Devija super knowledge. So now additional 3, where can you find the evidences? First, psychic power. If you read the Pataligama Sutta, I told you in it, Buddha and disciples walk from Rajagaha on the way to Vaisali, stop at where? At Pataligama. That time is under construction, because Ajatasattu has decided to move his capital from Patna, from Rajagaha to Patna, modern day Patna, though they call Pataliputra lah. So that time Ajatasattu sent 2 ministers to supervise the construction work, new building. Buddha passed by and a disciple on the way to Vaisali during a last journey at the time, he stopped at Pataligama. The time was a village. Then the 2 ministers who supervised the construction work came to know, oh, Buddha came, they offer dana to Buddha. Next morning, and Buddha with a divine eye, he saw a lot of devas, a lot of Naga, earthbound deva, high-class deva was around the new city. So Buddha advised the 2 ministers who offer dana, food dana to Buddha. He said, oh, it's best for you after offering the food, dedicate the merit. Never say transfer, Never use the word patidana. Only use the word anu no dana. Not patidana. So dedicate to those unseen beings. Then you will have auspicious happening. You have a good returns, something like that. You will face a lot of good happenings. You have good results. You see. So that sutta confirm, just to tells you, during the moment Buddha has the divine eye, the psychic power to see the beings, to know what type of beings around. You see, that's an example of Buddha's psychic power. Then after that, after dana, Buddha have to walk and cross the Ganges River, correct or not? Then his disciple have to use a ferry to cross the river, but Buddha did not. Buddha went to the bank there through psychic power in the air to the other side of the other river bank. This is the psychic power that we can see, we can find out from this sutta. So this sutta talks about two things. Divine eyes, he saw all the beings, asked you to dedicate merit to them. After dana, later he left Pataligama to cross, in order to cross the Ganges River, flew across with his psychic power. So this Pataligama Sutta, example that tells you Buddha possessed psychic power. Besides the early three Tevija, see. So the number 4, psychic power. 5th, divine ear. This sutta, Samannapana Sutta, says that Buddha can hear sound, those heavenly beings, human beings talking. Not only that, he could understand what the beings were talking about. That means he could understand the language, the dialects of those unseen beings. Not only Petra, hell beings and devas. So in later commentary, people say what, Buddha, since Buddha spoke Pali, unseen beings also spoke Pali. That's why Buddha could understand. There was a later theory says that in Visuddhimagga, all the unseen beings spoke or speak, now speak Pali. That's a Visuddhimagga. So all developed from this sutta, because this sutta said that Buddha could hear what the unseen being, like Deva, the Petra, what they speak, how they speak, and so on. Okay, so this is an example of divine ear. Okay, I can hear. Then the super knowledge, number 6, penetrate your mind. Can understand what you're thinking. Karunika now thinking, wow, when to come back to KL or something like that. You see, see. So from 3 super knowledge, now they talk about 6 super knowledge. Then this is what we call child abhinya. 6 super knowledge from Devija to child abhinya. Then from 3 to 6, then early sutta also talk about develop dasa bala, 10 power. Bala, power. Indian always call Bala, Mr. Bala, Mr. Power. Bala got another meaning called small boy in it, correct or not? Bala. Power also called Bala. Dasa is 10. So, but one thing I cannot tell you which one come first, but obviously the Tevija come first, 3. But you talk about the number, increase in number, of course 3 to 6, 6 to 10 . So this concept must come later 10. I mean, by this logic even though the sutta never say that, what year I talk about Dasa Bala, what year I talk about Tevija, what year I talk about child abhinya, but we guess from the number So after 3, after 6 knowledge, now we have 10 power. 10 powers. Dasa Bala Sutta, you can read for more details. Buddha possessed 10 intellectual power. What intellectual power? What 10 power? Power, this 10, again, for detail, it's up to your doctrine teacher to explain to you or to teach you, have a different session. Here I just mentioned the development of concept 10 power, result of karma. Most of it related to karma. You see, knowledge, he has a power of knowing the result of karma. Oh, you kill the parent, must go to hell later when the condition arrive. Or you injure Buddha's leg, or you cause schism in Sangha, heavy karma. This knowledge he possess, you see. If you do dana, or if you save life, oh, good karma, go to heaven, something like long life. Even if you're born as human being, you have a long life because the previous life, where existence, you save life, correct or not? The one in Sula Karma Vibhanga, something like that, Sutta, something like you refer to it, you see. You will always get angry, next life, your ugly face or something like that, deformed face. That one, Buddha will tell you, because he knows, he possesses the power of knowing the result of karma, one of the 10 dasam bala. Then the knowledge of what is possible, what is not possible according to karma, right or not? If you kill the parent, kill the arahant, it's not possible for you to be reborn as a deva in the next life or something, barring all circumstances. Right or not? This is what is possible, the knowledge, what is possible, what's impossible. Okay? Then, just like the Sotapanna, no way he will drop into the woeful state in the next rebirth. Right or not? Maximum 7 life. You're going to say, no way, he will spend 20 life, won't become Arahant. No, 7 maximum. And he won't fall into a woeful state. This is all fixed already. So possible and impossible. He will tell you, Buddha will tell you this. He has the power to tell you this. You see. The power of knowing the path that leads to all destination rebirth. So all these are power mostly related to karma and the result and the destination. Number 4. Also talk about previous life. The power of knowing his previous life with details. This one, the night when Buddha gained enlightenment, the first knowledge, correct or not? Knowledge about his previous life. Knowledge about the world's element or the 5 aggregate, this and that. He know. The knowledge about the disposition of being, his mentality, his interest, his inclination, his tendency, his behavior, his attitude, Buddha will know. This is the power of mind reading. Not. So this knowledge also part of the 10 power. Then number 7, spiritual faculty of a being. Whether every morning he will survey the universe, correct or not, Buddha? So then he know, oh, this Karunika, matured mentality, you're going to gain enlightenment. So Buddha will walk to your house. Then after seeing you, after your dana, preach you, then Karunika enlighten Arahant. He can read your mind, you see. So this is the spiritual faculty of a being, about the maturity in a being, whether matured or not. Right? A lot of early sutta you read, example, after coming here, he preach, and he knows your minds come, then he preached, then at the end, the listener enlightened or something like that. Because Buddha can read your mind, whether you're matured or not, this and that. So ability to know whether, to know your spiritual maturity. Okay. Then another knowledge, defilement, cleansing, jhana, whether your mind come up to what stage of jhana or still full of rubbish, he will know. Especially during meditation, he will no need interview lah. Nowadays, meditation teacher will interview, then they know you up to what stage. Buddha once look, he knows already lah, because he got this knowledge to see and to read your mind, right or not? Whether you achieve what stage. Then the second last, the ninth one, death and rebirth of being. According to karma, this one the second watch of the night, right or not? Being passed away here, rebirth there, according to karma. This one you know. Then the last one, knowledge and destruction, the defilement. This one also one of the Tevija, the three knowledges, destruction. So all the 10 dasa, bala, 10 powers, mainly based on the 6. Then they add in a few more lah, all related lah. So 3, 6, 10, then if you read the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, Buddha talk about the 4 assurances. No, 4 assurances. DN16, yes. DN16 mentioned that. I remember I mentioned that. That means if you practice perfection of his enlightenment that nobody could challenge, which are not comprehended by him, you follow his teaching and practice correct, you will gain enlightenment, assurance. Total eradication of passion, practice hard, you're sure to eradicate all the defilement. If you follow his teaching, that is, you will know that's evil, that's not evil. Definition is there. You will be able to differentiate. That's also assurance. Then you practice the path, you follow the path, follow the teaching, edit correctly, and nobody could challenge him that the follower would not attain desired goal. That means you sure gain enlightenment. You really practice, you follow his teaching and you practice, you sure enlighten one day. 4 assurances. Pali term called what? I forgot. 4 assurances. That one you can find in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So early Buddhism talk about these 4 these things, attribute, the powers, assurances, the tevijja, the knowledges, all this in early sutta. Then slowly comes to the Abhidhamma, later Theravada. Things slowly change because during that time, Mahayana's concept slowly appears in India. There was a few hundred years after Buddha passed away. Slowly, different schools interpreted Buddha's teaching differently, especially Mahasanghika, as I told you. They treated Buddha not only as a human being, as a superhuman being. They began to deify Buddha, treated Buddha as supramundane or transcendental God, something like that. So things keep a bit change, But still consider those Buddhist schools still treated Buddha like a human being. The only thing is that certain schools say besides human being, you got superhuman being, you got superpower, that's all. In the late Theravada's teaching, also you have a new concept. For example, just now I told you, you not only one can be enlightened as Arahant, but also can attain Buddhahood. The one in the late teaching, Buddha Wangsa. But early teaching never say that you can attain Buddhahood. Even though Buddha himself enlightened as Buddha, but he taught normal Eightfold Path. End result is what? Arahantship. You never say you practice normal Eightfold Path, enlightened as a Buddha, correct or not? No, no sutta will say that. But in the late Theravada teaching, different ideas comes up. You practice 10 parami, make aspiration, facing the living Buddha and get the prediction from him. You practice 10 paramita. After how long? 4 asankaya, 100,000 kalpa. Then you'll be enlightened as a Sammasambuddha. Right or not? That's a later concept already. You see? This one there, here. More or less we talk about this. So Theravada spirit. Now if we talk about Theravada, early on we say early Buddhism. We never use the term Theravada period. Now we use the term Theravada period. We include the late teaching. So if we talk about the Sutta period, we strictly confine to the early Buddha's time. Now Theravada period, that's just, in history we call sectarian Buddhism, sectarian period. Now the nature Buddha slightly differs. So what are the differences? They introduce the doctrine of Bodhisattva. Later Theravada period, you find the doctrine Bodhisattva. For example, Jataka stories. Jataka stories considered as a commentary, as I told you, and not belongs to the early Sutta period, except the verses. Historically, that's why the 15 texts in the Khuddaka Nikaya, not all the texts considered or recognized as early Buddhist texts. 4 or 5 considered early. Sutta Nipata, Dhammapada verses, not Dhammapada story, Dhammapada verses, Itivuttaka, and Udana. These 4 considered as early Buddha's teaching. Theravada, early teaching, but we don't call it a Buddha's teaching because it's Thera's verses and the Theri's verses. Early is one thing, who say this is another thing. So Sutta Nipata, early teaching can be traced back to Buddha's time and belongs to Buddha's verses. Theragata, very early part, most of the verses trace back to Buddha's time, but all these verses spoken by the Thera, enlightened Thera and enlightened Theri. Remember? So others, Jataka stories or Buddha Wangsa, Patisambhika Magga, Vita Acharya Pitaka, Apadana, this and that, Charya Pitaka, Vimala Waktu, Peta Waktu, Kulakapata, all these all considered later texts. You read all these texts, you just get the idea, the gist of it, you know they are very much different from early Buddhism sutta. You don't have to read all, you read the summary, overall picture that show you, Buddha Wangsa, Charya Pitaka, they talk about, parami, talk about Buddhahood. We never find in early sutta. Then this Buddhahood, then all these things, it's quite similar to Mahayana, because Mahayana also evolved, appear during the same period, in the late Theravada period, or not. Sometimes Asoka or slightly after Asoka's time, they talk about all this. So more or less the same, you see. So introduction of doctrine of Bodhisattva appear in late Theravada period. Good example, Jataka story, sacrifice yourself, to feed your body, to feed the hungry tigers, this and that. Sacrifice. Mahayana also, bodily sacrifice. But not jump into the cliff or something like that lah. The only symbolic lah. The forehead there, the 9 dog lah, Correct or not? Karunyaka. It's symbolic 9 dog.
Yeah,
Sacrifice
correct.
yourself for Buddha. Correct,
Yeah,
I read somewhere else. There's Venerable told me he's not actually ask you, like Jataka ask you to jump and feed the tigers.
yeah, correct. But that one is normally mentioned in, I think, in the Chinese one, Mahayana one.
Chinese will mention the 9 dog.
Ah,
That one, when you make a Bodhisattva vow, become a Mahayana monk, Chinese monk,
yeah, they like to burn here,
burn here, yes, sacrifice.
Mm.
Okay, we do. Then number 2, we talk about omniscience. Buddha, in the early sutta, Buddha never say I'm 100% omniscient. When you say omniscient, I know everything, any moment, even when I sleep, I close one eye, I know everything, Where's Timbuktu? I know Timbuktu, something like that. Even though Timbuktu, the word never appear in early Buddhism, I know in the future. But Jainism is different. Jain believe everything. He sleep also, you ask him, he will tell you this also so. What this that also that. Buddha never say that. So early Buddhism, people say Buddha only partly omniscient, that's all, and not fully omniscient like the Jains, you see. Then the concept of kaya also appear in the late Theravada period, not in the early period. Early period, we never talk about the what we call the three kaya, Mahayana, right or not? Then all these Abhinama concept of free divine, even in the latent period, this and all these latent thought, moment to moment, all these are considered as a later development, all these powers Theravada's late teaching. But people say, oh, Theravada say this, yes, true. You cannot say no. You cannot say Theravada never talk about transfer of merit. Yes, only difference is a late period lah. You cannot argue, say no. If you say early teaching, Buddha say transfer or not, then you can say no lah. Depends, you have to clarify yourself, you see. Then in the late Theravada teaching, another text, Patisambhida Magga, talk about 14 kind of knowledge. A lot of this one by one, we cannot go into details each and every. So just to tell you that by the time of Theravada school, the late teachings, a lot later concept appear in Khuddaka Nikaya, but not in the other 4 Nikaya. The other 4 may generally considered by scholars as early sutta. Khuddaka is different, only few texts, 4, around 4, I told you, belongs to early. The rest are late, including the Patisambhika Magga is a late text. Of course, Mirinda Panya, Visuddhimagga, even later. You see? So you read the concept, sometimes it's different, but sometimes people don't know the history behind, don't know the development, they confuse, That's a problem, you see. Then again, we don't talk about details. Patisambhya came up with another type of knowledge, just to tell you. Then a commentary. After the early sutta, after the late teaching of Theravada, then you have post-canonical text, the commentaries. This one is a few hundred years after the formation of Theravada school. A lot of commentary appear, but of course during Buddha's time you have some commentary lah. That's why we say when Mahinda went to Sri Lanka, he brought here, inverted comma, not physical text, brought along, brought in the mind, he introduced what? Tipitaka plus some of the commentary. That means commentary did compile or already some commentary available before Mahinda's time, before the 3rd BCE. Of course, the majority were compiled after Mahinda went to Mahavihara in Sri Lanka, Anuradhapura. There in the Mahavihara, a lot of new commentary being compiled in Sinhala Prakrit. This one I told you before, isn't it? And they memorize because they begin to interpret the teaching introduced by Mahinda. So the monk they start interpreting, and then they compile a lot of new commentary in Sri Lanka. This evidence you read from Adhikaran's books. He was the first one who did the research on the Pali commentary. Adhikaran, he did this, he compiled in his PhD thesis, Nanan Yu. Then after that, scholar, a lot of this commentary in Sri Lanka, then they began doing research. Then now a lot of expert on the Pali commentary lah. Yeah. Especially Professor Endo, Professor Endo, Kelaniya University. Later he left and went to Hong Kong University together with Professor Dhamajoti, all expert in commentary. So this commentary were compiled mainly in Sri Lanka. They introduced a lot of new concepts because all this was the idea of the monks in Sri Lanka. Almost 1,000 years, 800 years or 600 years after Buddha passed away, you see. So they have these new ideas in the commentary. And another new text, Visuddhimagga, also considered as a post-canonical text. It's not a canonical text, it's something, a summary of all the Buddha's teaching, compiled by Buddhaghosa. Visuddhimagga. Okay. So commentary as well as Visuddhimagga introduce these ideas. For example, Pancha Chakku, 5 eye. Chakku, eye. Pancha, 5. The idea of 5 eyes, the detail of this 5 eyes, you find out more detail from teachers. Divine eye, the one you know lah. Ordinary eye, like us, you know lah. Eye of wisdom, like Buddha's eye, eye of wisdom, discover the path. The Chakku eye, for example, the 5 ascetics, former companion Buddha. When Buddha preached the first Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Kondyana developed the Chakku eye, what we call the eye of wisdom, Dhamma eye, yes, Dhamma eye. Then he entered into the stream, Sotapanna, correct or not? That one also, Dhamma eye, Chakku. Chakku, Chatu or Chakku, I don't know. eye, the type of eye. So there are 5 eyes, the concept 5 eye in the commentary. Okay. Then the Buddha's universal eye, every morning commentary here, he survey the universe, correct or not? Then he knows, wow, this Karunika going to gain enlightenment today. So after that, must go to her house and preach her. That eye to survey the universe. Universal eye. No. This eye, I think he developed immediately after his enlightenment, correct or not? When Sahampati advised him to give Dharma talk, to teach Dharma, he survey and find out the friend or passed away, correct or not? He developed long ago one. Here the commentary just grouped together, compile all these ideas together. Ordinary eye, you know, divine eye also from the early sutta, eye of wisdom, universal eye, only they combine the new idea, 5 eyes, concept of 5 eyes. Then after all this early concept, and after the new concept in the late Theravada text, now all these are about the power, attributes, ability. Now ability keep changing in it, 3 to 6 to 10, then to 5 eye, 4 assurances, a lot of powers keep coming out. So now we talk about the numbers of Buddha. So just now we briefly talk about 7 in the early sutta. Then Theravada, late teaching, Buddha Vamsa, 28 Buddha. So come to Mahayana, Pre-Mahayana text or Mahayana text, Lalita Vistara, 普要经 Sister Sujan, Karunika, you know, Lalita Vistara, 普要经 Mahayana text, life of Buddha. Then you had Setlaka Pundarika, Setlama Pundarika Sutta, Lotus Sutta. All these in this Mahayana text, paragraph number 2. You had mentioned of millions of Buddha. Lalita Vistara initially belongs to Savastivada school, Nikaya school. Later adopted my Mahayana and add in more Mahayana element. That means the number of Buddha keep increasing to millions. That's why in the Mahayana text, they describe the number of Buddha in the heaven. 恒河沙数, you know.恒河沙数, you also know, Mahayana text. When I
Always
mention,
like that one.
when I mention, you know, because you involved in Mahayana.
Yeah.
All these Mahayana terms are standard one. 恒河 Ganges River, Sa, sand,
So it's a fan of the Ganges River.
number,
Uncountable.
Sumu number. The number of Buddha just like the sands in the Ganges River. How many sand? We don't know. Millions and millions. You see? So all this description regarding the number of Buddhas appear in the Mahayana text, Lotus Sutta, Lalita Vistara, Mahavastu. Mahavastu also it's not a Mahayana text. It belongs to Mahasanghika. You know, Mahasanghika was one of the earliest school that deify Buddha, correct or not? Say Buddha is Superman. So all this sub school, Lokotarawada school came out with a text, Mahavastu. Also say that Buddha, there are millions of Buddha in the heaven. You see, so number keep increasing from one historical Buddha to 6 other past Buddha to 28 Buddha to 45 Buddha in the late Theravada text to Mahayana, millions, uncountable, lost touch. Right or not?
Yeah.
Then immortality, another concept. The lifespan, we say lifespan of Buddha. Early Buddhism, Gautama Buddha, 80 years old. The previous Buddha, not known. Past Buddha, not known. But then Mahayana, that one is eternal. Eternal. Mahayana say that Buddha, human being pass away, human Buddha pass away, but the real Buddha is in the universe, somewhere in the never die, invisible, never die. So Gautama Buddha only sent by the eternal Buddha to our world to save our sentient being. Save doesn't mean that he fall, he come and rescue you. Teach Dharma also save you, you know. So, in so many ways. So immortality increase. Early Buddhism, 80 years old. Later Buddhism, don't know. You cannot count. Never die. Eternal. Wow, 27. 3 something, 4 something. Wow, 1 hour something. So there's another concept, object of devotion. Early Buddhism, we never treat Buddha as a god and pray and
Excuse
pray.
me, Brother Yap.
Huh?
You want to take a break?
Yes, yes.
Because it's slide 19 now. It's until 25 only, right? Slide 25, right?
27, okay lah. Yes, few more, yes. Yes. Okay. Now we come to the next new concept, object of devotion. So during Buddha's time, when he was alive, people respect him as a teacher, as we all, you see, a human being. See. But after Buddha passed away, maybe due to influence of those Hindus, they always say you have no more teacher. You see, our teacher Vishnu is always with us, even though he's unseen. So what must you do? This Buddhists will say, oh, they come out with a new concept. We have to, when we think about Buddha, past Buddha, who passed away, we pay respect, we have to devote it to his teaching. So very soon they become a object of devotion. You see, that's why after Buddha passed away, they came up with this veneration, Buddha Nusati. At first, for purpose of meditation, people recall his attributes, Itipiso, the attribute of Buddha, human being Buddha, just the collection of Buddha for meditation to calm down, for purpose of calming down your mind. That's all. But later it became an object of puja. That was a later concept. Now become a Buddha image. Pray, worship the Buddha image. That's a later stage of development. You see, instead of mental recollection of his virtue, for purpose of calming your mind, for purpose of meditation. So there's another new concept, treating Buddha like a god for you to pray, to worship. Okay? So nowadays, become a tradition already. Yeah, Buddha image in front of, instead of the collection, they worship, pay respect, or you can call it puja or anything like that. So there's a shifting of the, attitude, you see, from a mental collection to the worship of physical object. Okay. Now become a body tree, veneration body tree also. So a lot of these changes regarding the Buddha physical bodies. Then this we have We have half an hour, less than half an hour. Origin of deification. Deification, that means becoming a god, deva, deity, deification. So in fact, the concept of deification started from Mahasangika school. No, Theravada was different. Mahasangika is more progressive. They always say Buddha is not a normal human teacher, even though he was a human being, but he possessed all this supernatural power. So there's a beginning of deification. It began from Mahasangika schools. In consideration of quality he possessed, the services he rendered, and the position he held, he was soon respected, idealized, and considered by devotees to be a superhuman being or a deva, even though he is a human being, but superhuman being. The power exercised by way of miracle, just because he performed some miracles, different from that the normal people during that time could not perform. So he was a superhuman being. He performed the Yamaka, the twin miracles. He flew in the sky from one bank of the Ganges River to the other end, you see. So superhuman being. So this not only Mahayana, the Mahasangika say he was a superhuman being. So that was the beginning of deification. Even in the early Pali Sutta, Acharya Abutta Dhamma Sutta. Yeah, correct? No? Acharya Buddha Dhamma Sutta, correct? Mahapadana. So here, the sutta, even though they are considered early sutta, they will mention Buddha possess all this super knowledge, superpower. All these are in fact are standard behavior, standard life event of Buddha, that appear in the early sutta, even though some scholars say all these are later addition, just to explain that all Buddha have a standard behavior. First, the sutta talk about what? Oh, the Bodhisattva, when he passed away into Sita heaven, he will appear, transform into a white elephant, mindfully. We still have mind, the transitional period, white elephant, mindfully and consciously, still got consciousness, then enter into the mother's womb. The standard behavior of all the Buddha, not only Gautama, apply to all the Buddha. You can choose the parent, choose the place, choose the time, all this standard power, you see. All this stated in the early sutta. He then descended and entered mindfulness, conscious into the mother's Queen Maya. All this have been mentioned in the early sutta. So it's evidence of the beginning of deification. All the evidence are here. That means that early on, sutta already talk about all this superpower already, behavior like God already. You see? Yeah, there's another example. Samyutta Nikaya says that Buddha knows all the languages. Just how I mentioned to you in the what sutta? Samanyapala Sutta. He could hear other beings talking and talking. He could hear, he could understand also. Not only can hear, can understand what the Deva says, what the Petra says, this and that, you see. So later, the Mahayana also pick up this idea, correct or not? Juliana. Guan Yin in the sky there, Guan Si Yin, listen. Oh, Juliana
Correct.
asking for this.
For help.
Ah,
for help.
pick up this idea, Guan Yin, pick up this idea.
Yeah, that's why
Because
you have the name Guan 了嘛. Guan means
观
observe.
世音 all
色
世
音
界
ear 了嘛.
声音，全世界嘅
Listening
音，是观世
mind ears
音。
嘛.
So this is
Yeah.
not new, you know. In Mahayana, you
Mm.
cannot say Mahayana
Yeah.
create all come from
Correct.
the early sutta. They are all related one.
Correct.
Correct,
Correct.
you have to trace to the early sutta. Just like anatta, when we say emptiness, Maya talk about empty. Trace to early sutta, anicca, anatta. All come from early sutta. You cannot say they create out of nowhere, pluck from the sky or something like that. You see? This one, Guan Shi Yin. Why? Because the early sutta already mentioned that. In the
Correct.
Samyutta Nikaya, even in the post-canonical text, Visuddhimagga, he say Buddha can speak Pali with those unseen beings, can hear their suffering voice, hear this and that. All this not new, not Mahayana's idea, you see. All come from early Buddhism, not even Theravada, earlier than Theravada, you see, the idea, you see. They can communicate with them, you see the word here. It knows all the languages, including a speech of Deva, human, and other being, and can communicate with them some more, you know. Just like nowadays, the Taoist Tong also can communicate with the Deva, you know. So all these are common, you see, whether you're Buddhist or Taoist, this is a common knowledge, you see. In their own manner, covering all range of topic, all sort of topics, they can talk with the Deva. So all these are mentioned in Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 1 to 11. You go and read up all the details. He say Buddha know all the languages. In the one of the Savasivada, Lalita Vistala, the Mahayana text, just now I told you the Lalita Vistala, Hu Yao Jing, mention what, you know, when Buddha was small at time, the servant brought him to the school, you know. And he entered the school, start talking. All the teachers say what languages, also he can answer. He also can speak different languages. So the teacher, what happened? Fainted. I got a shock. This story in Lalita Vistala. Buddha knew 60 over languages. As a result, the teacher got shocked and fainted in the class. I know. So this also the story also traces back to our Samyutta Nikaya, because the Samyutta Nikaya says that Buddha knows all languages, including the speech of the Deva, not only human being, you see. So in a later text, when you say Buddha knew all the languages, the teacher got shocked. Not surprising. Early Sutta already mentioned that. Correct or not?
Yeah.
So all these are evidence of early deification of Buddha. How Buddha became a supernatural power man, from human being, supernatural human being, up to God. Few stages. So all these early powers are that super human being or God possess can be traced to early sutta. For example, just now I mentioned the knowledge of languages. Now, mind reading, also you can find in the early sutta in the commentary. Also say that Buddha, whenever he went, he can read your mind, whether you are spiritually matured or not. This ability, in early Buddhism, you can find, you see, divine languages, I told you already. He speak Deva Bhasa, Deva's language, among Deva. He speak Brahma Bhasa, Brahma's languages. All this new term, first I come across, Deva Bhasa. People ask you, what languages you know? I know Deva Bahasa. I know Brahma Bahasa. Pali is still not good enough. I know Deva Bahasa even better. Why not? Karunika.
Yeah.
More high class. So
Yeah.
you trace to Kudaka Nikaya, Vipmala Waptu and Petawaptu. These two texts are in the Kudaka Nikaya, belong to late Theravada, not early Sutta. It is say that Buddha conversed with Deva and a spirit in their own languages. Also in Samyutta Nikaya, just how I told you, chapter 1 to 11. So all these are about Buddha's ability to speak not foreign languages, unseen beings languages. Okay. Then divine eye, also early Buddhism, we know already. So now early Buddhism and talk about divine eye, only, I can see my past life, I can see beings die here and rebirth there. That's all, early Buddhism when they talk about divine eye. But in the later Buddhist Theravada Buddhism, they talk about divine eye, or the extended, the scope. You see, they talk about divine eye means the eye, it can give you the knowledge, which place the right place, which place the right time regarding your next rebirth. You can choose, just like the Tibetan pick up this idea, maybe, I want to have my rebirth in Russia or in China or something like that, That's why the Bodhisattva in the Tusita heaven, the penultimate existence, survey, you want to choose the right mother, you want to choose the right place, or Jambudipa, choose the right time. In the dark age, no Dharma, then I come down. So all these abilities, he already something like a God already, different from the early Buddhism concept of divine eye. More powerful than the early divine eye. Correct or not? It's a later stage of divine eye. Then the bird. Bird. Normal people just give birth from the womb, you see. There, the sutta and the not commentary, commentary. What? Mahavastu or Lalita Vistara. The Theravadas Nidana the commentary of bird story, Jataka, says that he came out from the womb, mother's womb, clean, unsoiled, without blood and mucus, cannot. But Lalita Vistara, even better, Mahavastu, came out from the armpit here, sideways. You read the story or not? Sometimes you read the story. Buddha came out from the sideways one, correct or not? Some pictures. But Theravada never mentioned this. Sometimes you feel a bit confused. How come I never read from Theravada's text saying that Buddha born from this side one? The one from Mahayana's text, you see. You have
You
to...
know why, Brother Yap? I think it's because of the Brahman's influence. Because Brahman, they say that those beings that
Yes,
are
correct.
high one were born on top one,
Ah,
isn't it? Then come
yes,
down.
yes, correct. I read it last month. Exactly the same. I think who told Bante Dhammapala. They give talk my time.
Yeah.
4 types of bird.
Mm.
Highest Brahmin from the mouth.
Oh, yes.
Then second class, the Satriya, the rulers, royal family. From the
Armpit that
shoulder,
one.
armpit, right. Then lower part and the foot untouchable. 4 classes.
Yeah.
So Buddha belongs to royal family. So must be armpit side.
Armpit off.
So unsoiled. This story from Mahayana's text, not from Theravada. Sometimes people read from internet. Internet never tell you the sources.
Yes.
That people come up with produce give a story, a life of Buddha, Rojak, some from Theravada source, some from Mahayana source. People wondering, this one from which text I never heard before. Hey, the one from armpit from which text I never heard before. And The speaker also cannot tell you. I got it from internet.
Mm.
If you say purely from Theravada's tradition or general other sources, then okay lah, you trace it. So this source from the Mahayana source. Okay. So all these examples of deification of Buddha already mentioned in the early text already, before Mahayana. Okay, before Mahayana. Buddhist text already mentioned all this supernatural power, like this divine eye can choose the place, can choose the time, can choose the family, can choose the mother. And languages, you can not only early days, Buddha talk to the disciple, human being, you and me, but later they talk to Deva, talk to Petra. Not only language, India languages some more. Dewa Bahasa. Next time, Karun Nika, you say you learn Pali, I learn Dewa Bahasa, even better. Brahma Bahasa.
Yes.
Bird story also. Mind reading, divine languages, all these examples are superpowers in the early text slowly pick up by the Mahayana later. So deification Buddha, how it begins, because all pick up from the example found in the early sutta one. So it was which school started first? Then you say Mahasangika and the sub-school began to deify Buddha. You see, the sub-school like the sub-school like Lalita Vistara, the text Lalita Vistara belongs to Savastivada. Then Mahavastu belongs to another school, Lokotalawada. Then the Vana, all these are later texts. Divya Avadana, Savastivada school. All these Buddhist schools, they compile all the texts, describe all the supernatural power of Buddha. You see. So at this later stage, when all the Buddhist school form appear already, their texts are all become very interesting, full of supernatural stories, mythology. You see. Birth of Buddha. This one we told you. Another example is that in a later text, how they deify Buddha. For example, they say Rahula, also like the father, Prince Siddhartha, descended. Early Buddhist text says that Gautama Buddha descended, the earlier life from Tusita to a human world, correct or not, in the form of white elephant, and entered the mother's womb, and then came out clean. So later texts include Rahula. Rahula also the same. That means Rahula's birth also very pure, also came from upstairs, came out clean, no blood stain, no mucus, nothing. So they extend the whole thing.
Brother Yap, sorry to say, I think if I'm not wrong, the Mahayana context say that Rahula was so-called, was not like we all 9 months like that, give birth.
Yes,
I think delayed
more
for
than
quite
that.
some time.
Yes, more than that.
They want to burn Yasodhara. They say that Yasodhara must have been possessed by devil
more
or
than
something
10
like
months, more than that, yes.
Is
How
it
many
true?
months I don't know, but it's more than that.
I remember it's more than that.
More than that.
Is it true? Do you have this stated in the Theravada?
No.
No, it's
No.
only in the Mahayana, isn't it?
Yes, Mahayana say longer a bit.
But
You
then
give the first paragraph,
ah,
Mahavastu, mention born from the side of the mother. Correct or not? It's a mind-made body. Why? How it appear from the armpit here? Not physical body, it's mind-made body. You see? The juk can come out and become a human being. Then he talk when we talk about the food, sleep, the speech. So deify Buddha. So now in a later stage of all these Buddhist schools, they talk about the deify Buddha. Earlier on, they pick up the idea from early sutta saying that Buddha was supernatural. Because early texts also mentioned that one. So now they came up with the idea that Buddha is really deified, really deity, supernatural. He eat and sleep, because he no need to eat and no need to sleep, no need to drink one, just to conform, yes, because you are a human being, you stay in the human world, you must behave like a human being lah. Don't let people know that you are Superman. He eat, drink, and takes medicine. First paragraph. Only to conform with the way of the world, our worldly life. He's not really subject to hunger. Actually, he no need to eat one. You see, he won't fall sick one. Just to conform to our lifestyle. You see. So sleep. Mahasangika said he sleep for 2 hours. Most of the time, he close the eye, samadhi, half sleep, meditation. That's all. No need to sleep. Speech, as I told you, you ask him anything straight away, one word he can tell you everything already. Immediately reply spontaneously, you see, without thinking for a moment, without thinking. Every word uttered by him, deep spiritual meaning one, can explain everything. Always rational, understood by all. That means a very powerful speech. No need to think, straight away tell you answer. Very short word, utter only 1 or 2 verses. The deep meaning can answer everything, just like tailor-made to suit your answer. That's all. No need to eat, no need to drink, no need to sleep. He eats, he sleep, he drink, he take medicine, because he want to behave like human being, to show you that he's a human being. At that stage already, they consider as a deity already, you see. But he don't want to behave openly like a God lah, just to show you lah. So the process of deification is a natural lah. It's not like overnight come out, we change the rule, this and that, like law. No, slowly for a few 100 years, bit by bit. Then when people dispute, they say we follow this sutta, we follow that sutta. It's nothing new. You say Guan Shi Yin, how come you say you can listen to people's voice, you can know people's this, you can teach it. All is mentioned by Buddha in the early sutta, you say. No, so you cannot dispute, you see. So slowly every year, every few years, every 10, 20 years, new idea come out. They always trace the early sutta. And after that, slowly people have begin to accept this new idea, become a tradition. Like today, a lot of idea you don't find in the early sutta one, correct not? A lot of practices, ritual, rites and ritual ceremony. In fact, not found in early sutta. Buddha's birth, what year, nobody knows. So people follow Sri Lanka tradition, what year, even though there's no proof. Just tradition, just a belief only. That's all, you see. So Mahayana attitudes regarding Buddha's power, this and that, that's another topic. You see, we don't talk about Mahayana side. We just talk the development from early Sutta until the pre-Mahayana or about Mahayana type. Because a lot of Mahayana pick up a lot of ideas from this deification of Buddha. Those stages, more or less the same, nothing else. So any idea, any questions? This one is a changes, development of Buddhist thought. It's different from development of historical event during Buddha's time. Also history got two different parts. Changes of the event, changes of thought, concept, change. That's all. Any questions? You have 5 minutes to ask. 8 minutes.
No question from me.
No question, huh? That means you know everything now, huh? You have to know, later you have to teach your own junior one. I cannot teach you forever like Buddha. You see. What?
Your
Right?
brother Yap was
Again,
ran out of
see
juice.
Same battery already, sudah
Yeah.
kong. But my here, internet line very bad. Keep on breaking.
Is it?
Just now I was
Seems okay.
frozen. My side here frozen, no. In, out. Brother
Is
Yap
it?
call. Yeah, Brother Yap, where are you? Yeah, you know that your battery gone off already. Ayo. So how? Finish already?
I told Sister Lizen, that's all. Next time take over. Finish already. She said no question already. Computer also understood my word.
Actually, it's less than 2 hours. Your battery getting worse. Brother Yap.
You should plug in. Brother Yap, you should plug in.
It's plugged in.
I asked the computer man already. It's like that. When you just spawn it, you will last for 4 hours. Every year they will decrease and decrease and decrease.
Even though you plug in.
2 hours or 1.5 hours.
Actually, Brother Yap, you change the battery lah. The battery not that expensive.
The battery inside change everything.
Change the battery. I mean, make sure you change the original one, not the fake one.
Even you yes, you change the original, every change again. Old one come off, just like your battery, your car battery.